naturally, you will resolve your mind on bodhi. That is what is meant by attention. Attention is universally interactive, and the second universally interactive dharma is contact, which is also what the remaining three universally interactive dharmas, feeling, thinking, and deliberation, rely upon. Once contact is established, feeling arises. Once feeling arises, there is thinking, and then there is deliberation. Therefore, contact provides the locus for feeling, thinking, and deliberation to base themselves upon. Contact is not something you should want. As soon as you have reached the state of contact, there will be feeling belonging to the mind, thinking belonging to the mind, and deliberation belonging to the mind. With attention, as mentioned above, comes the start of a state arising from the mind. However, with contact comes the start of a mind arising from the state, a kind of mental false thought.
As a false thought of the mind arises, then a mental attitude of feeling is produced toward the state. There is a drive to experience the feeling, which is thinking about the state and then pursuing it. Therefore, the false thinking is produced from the state. Once there is thinking, then there will be deliberation. What is deliberation? Deliberation captures the mind, causing the mind to take stock, to calculate and reckon, how can I get that state? What can I do? The five just discussed are called the five universally interactive. They are universally interactive because they pervade the three natures and extend throughout the three periods of time. The three moral aspects: 1. The good nature. 2. The evil nature. 3. The indeterminate nature. Indeterminate means it is not known whether it is good or evil. The three periods of time: 1. Past. 2. Present. 3. Future.
These are also referred to as past time, present time, and future time, covering all times. What is meant by past? What is meant by present? What is meant by future? I will tell you. Today is the present, yesterday was the past, and tomorrow is the future. The future does not exist, because it has not come. The present keeps changing and does not stay still, so it does not exist either. The past is already gone, and so it does not exist. Therefore, although the five universally interactive dharmas pervade the three periods of time, ultimately they cannot be got at. If one could put a stop to the five kinds of universally interactive dharmas, which one could do whenever one wanted, then one would not create evil karma. But if you do not stop them, they continue to exist. Actually, with the coming into being of the five universally interactive dharmas, one still has not created any good or evil karma. It is when the five particular states arise that there is no stopping the creation of good and evil karma. Shastra 2. The five particular states are 1. Desire, 2. Resolution, 3. Recollection, 4. Concentration, and 5. Judgment.
Commentary: particular can have several meanings, such as special, distinct, and individual. The word particular is used to describe these dharmas as different from the five universally interactive. Each one of the five universally interactive dharmas includes the meanings of all five. But the five particular states are not the same as each other and are, in fact, quite distinct and individual, not pervasive, making them just the opposite of the previous group of five universally interactive. Each one of these is individually produced from climbing upon a certain state, separate from the other four, hence the name particular state. These five come into being when the climbing mind climbs upon an associated state. As has already been discussed, at the level of the five universally pervasive dharmas, thoughts of good and evil have not yet formed. At that point, one could suppress the mind processes and thereby keep such thoughts from being produced. If one works hard at cultivating, one can keep from producing thoughts of good and evil. If one can manage not to produce thoughts of good and evil, then there will not be any creation of good or evil karma. However, if one gives rise to these dharmas of five particular states, among the dharmas belonging to the mind, then one can no longer stop thoughts of good and evil from arising. Therefore, the actual doing of good and evil begins with these five particular states.
Of the five particular states, the first one is desire. What is meant by desire? It is the wanting of something. Once one wants something, the next thing that happens is that one tries to get it, to grasp at it. That is the result of desire. What does one want to get most? Pleasurable states. One wants to have pleasurable experiences. 2. Resolution is rendered in Chinese by a pair of characters that mean literally, supreme understanding. This mental dharma functions when a state arises that one wants to investigate, to figure out. One becomes involved in the situation, and is determined to figure it out, to understand what it is all about. One becomes quite intent upon this, thinking things like, what shall I do about it? I've got to come to terms with this and resolve it. One feels one must make up one's mind about it and know exactly what's going on with it. When one is intent upon this process of resolution, if other causes and conditions arise during that time, they will not be able to shake one's mind or prevent it from making this resolution. That is why the Chinese uses supreme understanding to try and indicate the intensity behind this dharma of resolution.
3. Recollection means remembering clearly. What does one remember clearly? One remembers the states one has already experienced. For example, an adult may be able to recollect what he studied in grammar school. That is an example of this dharma, clearly remembering and not forgetting, which is the third particular state. Although the Sanskrit for 4, concentration, is samadhi, what is being described is not samadhi as defined in the list of precepts, samadhi, and wisdom, the 3 non-outflow studies. Here we render the word in English as concentration, because it means exclusively paying attention to something. It means to be without distractions in one's mind. It means continually thinking about something or focusing one's attention on it. When this dharma is functioning, your mind will be concentrated on one particular experience to the exclusion of all others. This kind of single-minded concentration is something an ordinary person is capable of. One uses it when performing